Most people lose energy before the new day even begins. Not because life is hard, but because their minds are too noisy. Today's story is about staying calm when everything around you feels chaotic. There is a very small moment that many people overlook. Right before you reply to an irritating email. Right before you unmute yourself in a tense meeting. Right before you type a Slack message you know will mark your territory. That moment often lasts only as long as a single breath. And strangely, at work, people rarely remember what you said during stressful moments. They remember how it felt to be around you at that time. It's not the loudest person who gets heard. Usually, it's the one who can hold their own rhythm, and others begin to adjust to it. We live in a culture of speed. Responding quickly is seen as professional. Replying immediately is seen as responsible. Being constantly online is seen as reliable. So many people carry a quiet fear. If I don't react right away, I'll be judged as weak or behind. But there is an uncomfortable truth. At work, speed doesn't save you from trouble. Haste usually creates more of it. You may be the hardest working person in the room, but if you let your emotions drive every time you're triggered, others will start to see you as a risk. No one says it directly. They simply stop assigning you sensitive tasks. They ask for your input less often when big decisions are made. They choose someone less exhausting to sit at important tables. It sounds cold, but it's a natural mechanism. Under pressure, people look for stability. I once saw this very clearly in a situation that seemed quite ordinary. A Thursday afternoon, near the end of the quarter. The kind of American office atmosphere everyone recognizes. Weak coffee, tired eyes, overlapping meetings, and the feeling that your head has too many tabs open. The team was preparing for a call with a major client, a product update, plus a timeline commitment that sales had already promised to close the deal. About 30 minutes before the call, an engineer messaged, "That feature can't ship next week. There's a bug. If we force it, it will break." You can imagine the atmosphere in the room. Someone jumped up. Someone cursed under their breath. Someone stared at the screen as if betrayed. One manager started talking quickly, flipping open their laptop, typing while firing questions. "Who signed off on this? Why are we hearing this now? Is there any workaround?" No one answered directly, because those weren't really questions. They were pressure being released. Meanwhile, another person, just a project lead, not the highest ranking, sat still. Not still in a careless way, but still in a way that looked like she was holding herself together. She looked at the screen, closed her eyes for just a second, as if closing off the part of her that wanted to panic. Then she spoke very slowly. "Okay. If we ship something broken, the client will lose trust for longer than 1 week of delay. We have 25 minutes. I'm going to propose 2 options. 1, ship the stable part, lock the rest, and clearly explain why. 2, delay 1 week and deliver a clean demo. Help me out. What's the biggest risk of each option?" That sentence changed the entire room. Not because the wording was impressive, but because it brought everyone back to reality. People started speaking like adults, with logic, with order, with purpose. The heart rate in the room dropped. The interesting part, she didn't win against anyone. She simply didn't let emotions turn the situation into a hunt for someone to blame. After the call, the client wasn't happy, of course, but they didn't walk away. And a few weeks later, When that team was assigned a larger project, the person most frequently mentioned was not the one who talked the most that afternoon. It was the one who made chaos feel manageable. Calmness has a very practical advantage. It turns you into someone others can lean on when things start to shake. And no, calmness is not a gentle personality trait. Calmness is a form of discipline. Many people think being calm means feeling nothing. That's not true. Being calm often means you feel a lot, but you don't let emotions choose your next sentence for you. That is the difference between I am angry and I am about to do something because I am angry. In the workplace, especially for people who tend to overthink, emotions rarely arrive like a storm. They come as a series of small signals, a message that feels too short, vague feedback, a "can we chat?" with no context, a meeting that runs too long, a distracted glance while you're presenting. Your brain starts writing stories. You read between the lines. You wonder what you did wrong. You want to respond immediately to regain control. And this is where things diverge. Chitri, there is a kind of strength very few people practice. The strength of not reacting immediately even when you can. Not to be noble, but because you understand that reacting too quickly often means you are handing someone else control over your internal state. I like to think of it this way. In the workplace, every day comes with invisible invitations. An invitation into drama, an invitation into defensiveness, an invitation to prove you're right, an invitation to over-explain. You don't have to accept them all, and that right to decline is calmness. There's a very simple way to practice it, nothing complicated, especially when you're tired and your mind is racing. When you feel triggered, a harsh comment, a sudden email, an unreasonable deadline, try these 3 small steps in order. No one even has to know. First, slow your body down before you slow your words. Drop your shoulders, relax your jaw. Exhale slightly longer than you inhale, not to meditate, just to tell your nervous system, I am not under attack. Second, name what is happening with a very neutral sentence. This is pressure. This is disappointment. This is my ego wanting to defend itself. When you name it, the emotion becomes less blurry and less able to control you from the shadows. Third, ask yourself a very practical question. If I respond in this state, what will I have to clean up tomorrow? That question shows you the cost of reacting. Very often you'll realize what you actually want is not the relief of speaking. What you want is to keep your position, your relationship, your clarity, your long game. And in that moment, you gain another option. You can say less. You can ask instead of argue. You can ask for 10 minutes and return with a cleaner response. You can write a draft and not send it. You can choose shorter sentences without sharp edges. Strangely, when you do this, people don't see you as weak. They see you as hard to pull off balance. In high-pressure environments, being hard to pull is a form of power. Because calm people look beyond a single argument. They look at what will still exist after the meeting. Their credibility, the team's safety, the client's trust, and their own clarity of mind. You don't need to become the quietest person. You don't need to become cold. You just need to become someone who can choose your response, instead of letting the day choose it for you. And if today you feel tired, your mind is noisy, and you feel like you're about to react just to breathe, remember, You don't have to react quickly to prove you care. You can care and still be calm. One breath, one pause, one right question. Sometimes that's all you need to keep your whole day from slipping out of your hands. Calm people don't win because they are smarter. They win because they don't give away their power. If you're learning how to stay calm in a noisy world, this video is for you. Don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel. We'll meet again in the next stories. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. Rest well. Tomorrow is a new day. Wishing you peace and happiness.